Hello, my subscriblings, and welcome to day 11 of the 12 Days of Shipmas. It's hard to believe that this series is already almost done. For those of you who are wondering, what is the 12 Days of Shipmas? Well, it's a small little series that I started back in high school, where for the 12 days leading up to Christmas, I drew 12 different couples from 12 different fandoms. The way I like to think of it is like a little advent calendar for you guys to open each day with a new gift inside. Now, last year I drew a Studio Ghibli pairing, so I figured it was only right to draw another Studio Ghibli pairing. Let's jump into the speed paint. For today's video, I picked my second favorite movie, Howl's Moving Castle. Last year, I drew Ponyo and Sosuke. Now granted, that was more in a friendship style, because I think they are way too young to be pairing together romantically. But I wanted to draw them because Ponyo is my all-time favorite Studio Ghibli movie. Now granted, a majority of that comes from the nostalgia factor. It was also the first Studio Ghibli movie that I had ever watched, so it holds a special place in my heart. But now that I have seen more Studio Ghibli movies, I definitely think Howl's Moving Castle is my second favorite. I'm realizing now that I have drawn two pictures back to back of couples cooking. But instead of it being a chaotic, fun baking scene, it's a calm, cozy cooking scene. For this pose, I decided to do Sophie fixing breakfast for everybody, and Howl kind of sneaking up behind her and just embracing her as she cooks. I wanted something very cozy, because that's how most Studio Ghibli movies make me feel. I will say not all Studio Ghibli movies, but for the most part, they are comfort movies. Whenever I just need to relax, or if I'm at home and just want to draw, a lot of times I'll put on Studio Ghibli lo-fi music, and it brings me a sense of peace, and watching the movies brings me a sense of peace. So I wanted to portray that in this picture with them. I have heard recently that there is a big difference between the Studio Ghibli Howl and Sophie and the book version of Howl and Sophie. And I honestly don't know all of the differences, but the comparisons that I've seen are so hilarious and have made me want to read the book series. I remember watching Lavender Town's video where she compared the two of them, and seeing the visual versions and compared was really interesting. But I also just love the story so much that I wouldn't mind reading it and getting more of the source material, because the movie doesn't give you everything. With this drawing, I honestly kind of struggled with this pose a bit. I don't know what it was, but it was specifically Howl that was giving me the most trouble with his arm that I wanted to have wrapped around Sophie, and then that shoulder that's kind of tucked behind her. No matter how I drew it, it just didn't look right. But I'm trying to get to a point in my art where I'm not a perfectionist on everything, and I just draw to where it's good enough and then move on. Because if I try to focus on one aspect, I'll get frustrated, and then drawing becomes not fun for me. So I'm trying to reteach myself to enjoy what I draw, which I think you'll also see in the way that I do the backgrounds. So with this background specifically, I try to do more of a messy coloring and shading style, because I will make myself nauseous with trying to shade and pick colors and make it look perfect. So a lot of times that's why I don't do backgrounds, because it stresses me out so much. So with this one, I just wanted to have fun with it. And honestly, it worked. Because I blurred it, I didn't need it to be super detailed. But the point is still brought across. So I'm hoping that this is something I will carry on in my art career in the future, and that I won't just forget it. And here is the final drawing. As I mentioned in the beginning, I am drawing every day until Christmas, which means there is only one drawing left. If you'd like to see it, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notified when I post it tomorrow. And if you want to watch all of the other videos, I have a playlist on my channel where you can find them all. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you all in the next video. See ya!